Utinni!
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday, January 2nd. Can't believe it's already the 2nd of January. Man, this year's 2024, I should say, flew by. So hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a safe and happy holiday and a Happy New Year. And we wanted to announce a new jig today. So that's what we're going to be doing in this live stream. So as many of you know, we did the Christmas ornament jig, which was extremely popular among the F1 and F1 Ultra users. We also released a Koozie Jig for the 12.5-ounce cans. So your normal beer cans, soda cans, that sort of thing. And that did these type of koozies. And the way it works is this just attaches to your F1 Ultra via the holes with 2 thumb screws, or it fits in the F1 regular base. And then you just slide the koozie right up on it. And then you can laser grave. Okay. So today we're kind of announcing a variation of that. Summer is coming, spring is coming, and that means more beverages are going to be consumed. And what better way to keep those beverages cold and your hands dry than more koozies? So since we already have the 12-ounce soda can and regular beer can size koozie and Koozie Jigs, we are today announcing the tall slim Koozie Jig for the F1 Ultra and F1. So there it is. It's just a slightly different design than the 12-ounce regular koozie, and it takes these tall slim koozies from JDS. As you can see, there's no bottom to them. And again, these just slide on like so, and you're able to laser engrave them. And this makes it really easy to slide off, flip to the other side, push back on, and laser engrave both sides. So that's the jig we are announcing today. And you'll be able to pick up this jig on our website at utinnidesigns.com. I will throw that up in the link here. So you'll be able to go to the website and order the physical jigs, or you can go to our Patreon and go to the store and download and order and download the print file that will allow you to print this on your own 3D printer at home if you have one. So there's 2 different options there. You can buy the file and print it yourself, or we can ship you a physical jig. So again, you can purchase the physical jig on utinnidesigns.com, or you can go to the store on Patreon/utinnidesigns and purchase that file and download it. If you are a commercial subscriber on our Patreon, you will get the file for free. So that is something to keep in mind as well as any other files we put on Patreon. All those are free to our commercial members. So whether it be graphics or laser jigs, those print files are free if you are a commercial member on our Patreon. So keep that in mind. So the next thing we want to show is kind of the difference of these 2 jigs. So let me switch my cameras here, and we will go to this cam. So here you can see, and I'll just put them side by side. There is the 12-ounce Koozie Jig, and here is the tall slim Koozie Jig. Now these will probably be more apt to be used for White Claws. I think they're probably a little bit too big for energy drinks, but definitely your White Claws, your seltzers, the taller cans, taller slim cans. Again, these are from JDS. You can purchase these leatherettes from them and just laser engrave them as you like. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to switch this to our laser cam, and as you can see, this is the xTool F1 Ultra, and you can see the jig placed in there currently. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hey Gap, good to see you, buddy. So this is the jig we are announcing today, and I will show a demonstration on how to use this jig in the xTool F1 Ultra. You can also use it in the xTool F1 laser machine. Just please know that because this is a little bit longer area that you're going to be engraving, you may or may not be able to close the shield all the way on the F1 regular. So please be sure to use proper laser safety glasses if your shield will not close all the way on the F1 regular. On the F1 Ultra, it does close all the way, as you can see here, so we have no issues there. But on the F1 regular, it is 4 inches smaller, so please keep that in mind, that you may not be able to close the lid all the way for safety reasons. Please be sure to wear laser glasses for your machine when you engrave on this if your shield is up. Okay. So let's switch to our XCS software, and I just have a real simple, couple simple designs we're going to do on this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to refresh our background, and that should show us the jig. Make sure, there we go. So there's the jig. So we want to move this down here, and then we are going to go place a leatherette on the laser itself. So you will see that here. Let me remove this and I'll go get this ready. So we're going to remove this, and there you'll be able to see me put on the leatherette jig. I'm going to switch audio here real quick. Hopefully you all can still hear me okay. And let me get this set up for you. Let me double check and make sure you can hear me. Okay. So we're just going to raise the shield, and we're going to take a leatherette from JDS, a slim Koozie leatherette, and we're just going to slide it on here. Slide it all the way up as far as it'll go. And now we will focus. So we will put our shield down to focus that. And we will focus our laser. Okay, laser is focused. And now we'll refresh our design here. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to adjust this design a little bit and move it where we want it on the leatherette. And then we're going to frame it. So as you can see, with this jig, you can get dang near all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. I'm going to move it down just a little bit, just to get it a little bit more centered. That looks pretty good. And then just for the sake of doing it, we are going to stop framing and we're going to go to outline and frame it again. And that shows us where the engraving is going to take place. Okay. So let's stop that framing. Our settings for this are going to be using the Fiber IR laser and the xTool F1 Ultra at 60% power, 760 speed, 1 pass, 20 lines per centimeter. So we're going to go ahead and hit process and start. And now on your screen, you should see this engraved when we hit start. Here we go. So these koozies are very quick to engrave, and they make great gifts for friends, family. They also are great for weddings, bridal showers, bridal parties, groomsmen, anybody that enjoys the tall, slim drinks during the summertime or spring. This is a great item to engrave and give to them. So as you can see, it engraved just fine. No issues. And actually, I think I'm going to run a secondary pass on here just because it did do it a little bit lighter than I thought. So we're just going to double click it and let it run again. And that looks like it's much better, much darker, which is what we want. Now we just want to flip this to the other side. So there is your one side, and we're going to flip this to the other side here. And we are going to go with our secondary design for the back side. So let me pull that up so you can see that. All right, so this was our first design, and now we're going to switch over to our second design. So we're going to come over here and we're going to hide the output on this first design. And then we're going to show the next one. And since we had to do 2 passes on the other one, I think I'm just going to go ahead and automatically do 2 passes on this one. I could slow down my speed and increase my power, but we know that 2 passes works real well. So I'm just going to adjust this design in here to match up to the same size as the previous design. And we'll just adjust it like so. And then we'll turn off the other design. Okay, let me go up here and save this. Now we don't have to remeasure or anything like that. So we should just be good to go. I am going to check the framing on it just to make sure that everything's where I want it to be before I engrave. So I'm going to frame that, and while that's framing, let me remove this and get you back to the full screen. Now, obviously, I'm talking you through a lot of this, so it's taking a little bit of time, but keep in mind that once you get this going, you'll be able to knock these out real quick. So, go to framing. Make sure it's where we want it. I think I'm going to come down just a couple clicks. Like so. And then we'll stop it, do the outline, frame it again. And that gives us an idea of where it's going to be on the koozie, which looks good. So we will stop framing, go to process, start, and hit it. And again, our settings are the F1 Ultra. We're using the Fiber IR laser at 60% power, 760 speed, 2 passes, and 140 lines per centimeter. And that gives us this nice dark engrave on this teal slim tall koozie. So here comes the second pass. Again, you could probably do this in one pass by just upping the power just a little bit and lowering the speed. But you could also probably increase the lines per centimeter, and that would darken it as well. But as you can see, less than a minute to this side, and it is good. So we have both sides done. So now we will do another one. And this is the rawhide or chestnut color. And again, we do not need to refocus. We can just bring in our other designs. So on this one, I'm actually going to increase the speed to 80, and we're going to increase the lines per centimeter to 180 from 140. We're also going to slow this down to 700 just to see if that helps with the settings or not. So let me take away this other design, and I'll get this set up to where you can see it. And we're going to do the same design on both sides of this one. So you'll be able to see how quickly this will work using the new jig. So first things first, I'm going to adjust this design slightly. I think we need to make it a little skinnier to fit the koozie better. So I'm just going to unlock my my aspect ratio, and we're just going to squeeze this just a little bit, and then I'm going to align to center and then drag it where I want it on the koozie. I think somewhere right around there. And then we'll frame it. Again, we adjusted our settings on this. We bumped the power up from 60 to 80. We adjusted the speed down to 700, and then we increased the lines per centimeter to try to get this all dark in one pass. So that should help. So let's go ahead and save this. And we should be good on that. So let's go to framing, and we'll shoot the framing, and we'll remove this. You can see the framing happening. So there's our framing. I'm going to come to the left just a little bit and down a little bit on this design. And again, to do that, you just select your design and you use the arrow keys to come down and to the left. And then you check your framing on your machine again. Framing is always going to be more accurate than the camera. So yes, the camera is good for rough placement, but use your framing for the final placement, always. And you always look at it from front and back and side. Once you're happy with the alignment, you should be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and refresh this. Background. And we're going to go ahead and merge. Oh, we don't want to merge that design, sorry. So there we go. And I'm going to copy and paste this into my other file here. And again, we're going to bump that from 60 to 80%, 700. And we're going to go down to 180 on the lines per centimeter. So this should engrave pretty dark from the get-go, but we will see how it goes here. So we'll start, put our shield down, and hit process. So as you can see, this one's automatically a little bit darker. And you're going to get different variations on different colors. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing it. It may take less power, may take more power. It's all going to be, up to your settings and the material you're engraving. But these will engrave pretty quickly. And you will get a little bit of soot or kind of a smoke effect off of these leatherettes. Just take some isopropyl and a microfiber or a blue shop towel and wipe them down, and that will get rid of most, if not all, of the smoke residue from engraving those. It seems like the chestnut, or I call it rawhide, color really shows the smoke more. So you will see here in a second. Let me take this off and see how you can really see that smoke right in there. We're just going to wipe it with it directly on the jig. And that should get the majority of it off. Again, this is just using isopropyl alcohol. And it may take a time or two to get that. Maybe wipe it once or twice to kind of get that off. You can sort of see the soot still on there. So I'm just going to put some more isopropyl on my microfiber here, and we're just going to continue. And again, I'm doing this directly on the jig. And the reason I'm doing it directly on the jig is if I decide I want this darker, I can still do it. Now here, I think I'm burning a little hot on these, on the thicker areas. So what I'm going to do is, obviously there's no way you can fix that part. So this just may be a throwaway koozie or a test koozie. But on the back side, I'm going to do the exact same engraving. And we're going to lower the power, since I think we were doing it a little too hot. So we're going to go back to our original setting, and we're going to drop it to the exact same, except I'm going to do 140 centimeters, or lines per centimeter. So now I've changed the settings again. We're using the fiber IR still. We've dropped the power from 80 to 60, and the speed from 700, we've gone up to 760. Still one pass, lines per centimeter, 140. So we're going to give that a shot and see how that turns out. So again, we're just going to double check our framing, make sure this is where we want it. I always double check the framing, even though I'm using a jig. You don't have to, but it's just good practice. So that looks good. We'll go ahead and put this down. We'll stop the framing, start the process. And here we go. So the way that we've designed our jigs is so it centers it in the machine and makes it real easy to line things up. You do your auto measure, and once you have it framed the way you want, is if you're burning the same design, like if I was doing this design and I was doing 200 of them, you're talking less than a minute per per koozie, maybe about 30-40 seconds per side. So real quick and easy to just mass produce with this jig. So here we go. That one turned out better, I think. Still maybe just slightly a little hot up there, but you also see we don't have as much smoke residue, which is a good thing. So we will just take a little bit of isopropyl and we will go ahead and wipe this down just to alleviate any soot smoke residue from the leatherette. And again, you can do this right on the jig, or you can take it off the jig. I leave it on the jig if I can. That way, in case if I need to hit it again with the laser, it hasn't moved, it's already set up, and everything is good. So that looks pretty good. Looks like I got most of it off. So we will go ahead and pull that off, and there we go. Okay. So let me show you how to remove this jig. Again, this is just using thumb screws that come with your L bracket. And if you have an F1 regular, you just remove the base plate and slide it in. So I did leave a little bit of play in these holes, and that is because each machine, even though it's an xTool F1 Ultra, will have slightly different skews or offsets. That's just part of the manufacturing process. What's center on my machine will not be completely center on yours. It may be off by a millimeter or two. So I left some play in here so you can line these up. Now, another thing you can do is you can take a level and you can put it up against the side and make sure that it's level, and do it that way if you like. So there's a couple different ways of making sure you're centered up. Let's do a couple little quick wipes here, little house cleaning. You always want to make sure you keep your laser as clean as possible. Just helps it run better. Okay, so you just loosen these two thumb screws, pop them out, and there you go. So there's the jig. And then to put it back in, you just line up the center holes, find your hole, and simply screw it back down. So there's a hole, and then we'll line up this one. Now, I have big fingers, so if you have big fingers, it might make it a little bit more difficult, but you will quickly find an easy way to do it. Like here, I'm just holding the jig still and using two fingers, and then once it's in there, I just balance it. I lock down the front first, and then the back. And there you go. So that, again, that makes it real easy to just slide these on. We can get that all the way tight. Once it's tight, there we go. Makes it real easy to just slide these on. The jig won't move. You can flip it over, do the back side. You can get another color, throw it on there, engrave it, flip it over, do the next side. So you can do these real quick. And that's why jigs are so important for laser machines. It's for fast mass production. So if you have big orders and you're not using a jig, you're only hurting yourself. Whether it's a jig from Utinni Designs or whether it's a jig from Samcraft or any one of the other jig manufacturers out there, if you're not using a jig, then you are just hurting yourself. So let me move this over here and we will recap. This is going to be a pretty short live today, but just wanted to announce this new jig that we have available and get that going. So let me switch you back to the other camera. All right, so here is our regular Koozie Jig that we released about a month ago. Here is our new Koozie Jig for the slim and tall koozies. As you can see, they're basically the same design. We've just made some adjustments for the different sizes of koozies. So your 12-ounce koozie just slides right on, just like so. And it does allow you to easily flip it over and do the other side. Okay. Again, these are hold for the xTool F1 Ultra, but this base plate will fit inside the xTool F1. Same with this one. You have your tall koozie from JDS. You just slide it right on, engrave it, flip it around, engrave the other side, and you're good to go. So we're going to move this one out of the way, put that one in here. So these are the two engravings that we did. So with the new jig, and that kind of gives you an idea of how this works. Again, if you want to pick up the physical jig, you go to utinnidesigns.com. If you want to get the file to print, if you have your own 3D printer, you can get it at our Patreon in the shop. Or if you are a commercial subscriber, you do get that file at no charge. So as you can see, it engraves really well on these leatherettes from JDS. Okay, these make great gifts for, again, wedding parties, bachelorette parties, so on and so forth. So very quick and easy koozies for the tall and slim cans that you can make with the Utinni Designs Slim Tall Can Laser Jig. Okay, so here's another example. This is on a brown or chestnut leatherette, I think they call it. So again, both of these were done on both sides in less than 2 minutes. So you can really mass produce these if you have a jig to throw those onto. So again, this is specifically designed for the tall, slim leatherettes from JDS. I'm sure it will probably work with other tall, slim leatherettes because they have to be roughly about the same size for the cans, for the tall, slim cans. But I have tested them with the JDS tall, slim leatherettes, and you saw me just laser these two today. So this one and this one. So is there any questions or comments that I can answer for anybody in the chat about our new jig here? If you're If you're on Facebook and watching from there, let me go check that real quick to make sure we don't have any comments on there. The software I use, unfortunately, only shows comments from the YouTube. So let me switch over. Doesn't look like there's any comments or anything there. Okay. So again, if you're just joining us, we're announcing our tall, slim Koozie Jig for the JDS Leatherettes, for the tall, slim cans. Think White Claw, think Smirnoffs, probably some of the IPAs out there, the local IPAs that use tall cans. These Leatherettes will more than likely work. For your short cans, we also have the 12-ounce Koozie Jigs, again with koozies from JDS. Okay, so these are the two Koozie Jigs that we have, the 12-ounce and the Tall Slim. Tall Slim is what we're announcing today. This one's been out for a while. Again, if you want to order the physical jig, if you do not have a 3D printer, please go to our website and you'll be able to order the physical jig from there. We will print it and ship it out to you anywhere in the United States. If you are not in the United States or you have a 3D printer, you can go to our Patreon and you can purchase this file and you'll be able to print it on your own. If you are a commercial member on our Utinni Designs, part of our commercial members, you will get this file, not the physical, but the file for free. Okay. So that's pretty much all I have for you today. I wanted to make it quick and easy. I didn't want to take up a lot of your time. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe if you like this video or if you learned something today. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. And once we reach that milestone, we will be doing a pretty cool giveaway. So please help us reach that milestone. Like and share this. It really helps us out. It helps get not only our products out there, but helps us make more videos that are more layman live stream type videos. These are not pre-set up. These are ready, these are real-time type things. So you learn as we learn. And as you saw, we had to go darker on this one with a second pass. And then we had too much power on one side and we lowered it back a little bit and it gave a really nice engrave. So those are the type of things that our videos show. We're not sponsored by anybody. All this is done with our own money. So any likes and subscribes you can provide to us and or Patreon memberships just goes back right into the channel and right into providing content. So let me switch cameras back here. And let me switch my audio back. There we go. So thank you all very much for watching. We will be doing some more videos very soon, not only on lasers, but 3D printing. We will also be doing videos with our xTool P2S, the big boy, the big CO2 laser, 55 water. We'll be doing some cutting on it, not only in acrylic, but wood. We did some cutting a few days ago on it, made some ornaments, so that was pretty cool. But we will be doing more projects on that, as well as our xTool F1 Ultra and our Bamboo Labs X1C 3D printer. So thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching later, and I will answer them as soon as possible. So thank you all very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and have a great weekend. And go Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's get this championship this year, guys. Have a good one. See you later.
Utinni!